Retiring rich and financially free is what every wise person should aim or desire in life, so as to enjoy old age and not be a financial burden to our children. And that is why we need to be deliberate about how we invest for retirement. And if you remember, in one of our previous videos, we mentioned the aspect of an investment called compound interest investments, which means the type of investment that gives you compound interest, not simple interest, because we have two types of interest. The number one is simple interest, the second one is compound interest. The normal one, the common one, is the simple interest, the one being given by treasury bills, the FGM bonds, even the commercial papers, the corporate bonds. Each of those ones usually give simple interest. Even your savings account will give you simple interest. But when we talk about compound interest, and that is what I want to explain in this video, and I'll also give you an example. So what is compound interest investment? What is compound interest investment? According to Investopedia, it's an interest paid on initial principal and accumulated interest on previous periods. I say that again. Interest paid on initial principal and accumulated interest on previous periods, which means, let's say you invested 100,000 in a year at 10% interest rates. At the end of the year, it's going to give you 10,000. Now, if it is simple interest, you just collect your 10,000. If it is compound interest, that 10,000 will be reinvested automatically, not manually now, automatically, and eventually it begins to generate interest for you. So it means your interest giving birth to children. Your interest giving birth to children. So that is the way I can explain it in a layman language. Your interest, the interest you have earned on your principal, now bringing in interest. In the case of simple interest, it's not that way. It is just once. But in the case of compound interest, your interest yields interest for you. So now let me cite an example. So we have three types of people on this board now. We have Peter, we have Paul, and we have Pat. And it is important to know that the advantage of compound interest investment is that you start as early as possible. That's one of the reasons why it is called the eighth wonder of the world, because how it works is more or less like a magic, and it works on a long run, not on a short run. So that's why we usually plan it for retirement. We usually advise or suggest that it is to be for retirement, because the advantage of it over other forms of investments is on a long run. So let's look at it. So let's say, for instance, so Peter is 25 years of age, Paul is 30 years of age, and Pat is 35 years of age. And they are all going to retire at the age of 60. At the age of 60. So which means Peter has 35 years to go, Paul has 30 years to go, and Pat has 25 years to go. And at that point, they had about compound interest investment, and they decided to invest 1 million in whatever currency now, 1 million. Now, at a compound interest rate of 10% annually, let's say they just put the 1 million there and they forgot it there. After that, they did not do anything. Do you know that by the time they are all 60, they clock 60. Don't forget that Peter started early. He was 25 years when he did these investments. At the end of 35 years, it will be 28 million, 28.1 million. For Paul, who started at the age of 30, is going to be 17.4 million, while Pat is going to be 10 million. So you can see the difference between Pat and Peter. A difference of 18 million. 10 years. Just because of that 10 years, there's a difference of 18 million. So that is why, if you are still in your early age, it's better you start this kind of investments. I hope you understand. If you just put the money there, so you may say, but I don't have 1 million. Even if it is 100,000, your 100,000 in the next 35 years, the 100,000 that you can just use to buy data or Ashwebi or something now. Once you put it there, at the end of 35 years, it would have been 2.8 million without any other addition. So that is compound interest. You may say, now, the question is, where do I do it. That's why I said, ask your banker, do they have compound interest investments? There are apps, fintech apps that do it, but I don't want to recommend any, because another reason why you need to be careful is because it's a long-term investment. Just imagine 35 years, 30 years, 25 years. It's a long-term investment, and that's why you need to look for a reliable. I said it, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm only a chartered accountant. So I can't advise you on a particular one. So make your findings yourself. You are the one that will make the money. And if you are going to make money, you are not supposed to be lazy. Make findings. How can I get compound interest investments? So the question is, you may ask, okay, what if I'm not putting in 1 million? I want to put another figure and I need to know how much it's going to be at the end of this year. Maybe my own is 27 years. How do I know? Now, let me give you the formula and I'll cite an example. So in this case now, let's say this is a formula. Let's say you want to put in, maybe 500,000. So this is it, equals to 500,000. This is how you are going to calculate it. In brackets, you put 1 plus what is the interest rate they are giving you. Let's say they are giving you 10%. So we have 10% here. Number of years, let's say in this case is 20 years. Then you just calculate it. So in this case now, so this comes to 1.1 in brackets all over 20. So 1.1, then we have here 500. By the time you multiply this, you first of all find this. Eventually it will give you the final answer. So in this case now, if it is like this, just like I said, just plug in your own parameter, and you can also go online. Once you Google it online, you will see it, that compound interest calculator, it will bring it out for you. So that's another option. So, but if you want to go the manual route, just do this. P is how much do you want to invest? 1 plus your rates, then brackets, then number of years. By the time, so at the end, this one gave us 3.3 million. That's just it. So, thank you so much. If you are yet to watch the video on retirement for investments, I recommend you watch it. So we meet in our next video. Stay blessed.